Hello, my name is Trina and welcome to this channel called Healing with Color. Today what I'm going to talk to you guys about is healing with color, as well as I'm looking at my laptop because I found a really interesting website and I found a really interesting article talking about the history of healing with color. And I wanted to primarily focus on healing with color in Africa and what they did as far as that method of healing. Not sure if this is going to cover it, all of what I wanted, but we'll see. This topic and this subject matter is hard to find a lot of good things online about it that I find will be reliable, but hopefully you guys will enjoy it. I'm sorry about the quality of the film. For some reason my phone is doing this, so I've been using my phone for recording, so that's how it is right now. It's kind of a dreamy look to it, like old school soap operas. So the name of this website is called Sunshine Health, and I'll leave the links to this. I'll leave the link to this article in the description below. So yeah, so let's get started. So this is called The History of Color, Past and Present. Color can be found to be symbolic for every culture, both ancient and modern. Since the time of the ancient Egyptians and Greeks, colored minerals, stones, crystals, salves, and dyes have been used as remedies. These great civilizations also had special sanctuaries painted in various hues, in which people could receive healing by exposure to particular colors. The knowledge of healing through color was a highly regarded science until the Middle Ages, when it came to be stamped as pagan and Egyptian, Greek, and Roman healing practices were prohibited. People practicing them were persecuted, and the old art of color healing became secret and hidden. After the Middle Ages, religious creed was replaced by the dominance of reason, which demanded that all knowledge had to be certain and evident, thus expelling divine and intuitive knowledge from the world of science. Color therapy resurfaced again in the 1880s, when publications on color and its healing abilities first appeared. These texts mentioned the use of blue light in treating pain, red as a stimulant of blood and nerves, yellow and orange as nerve stimulants, violet as soothing and anti-inflammatory agent. Though still not scientifically accepted, research and work continued. Rudolf Steiner, the father of anthroposophy, believe that the vibrational quality of certain combinations of color have either destructive or regenerative effects on living organisms. A photobiologist, Dr. John Ott, demonstrated the effect of color on growth and development, showing that plants under red glass were shooting up 4 times quicker than in ordinary sunlight, while growing even slower than normal under green glass. Interesting. Let me move this over. Gotta scroll down here. Today, babies with jaundice are placed under the violet light to assist their liver function. In 1990, scientists reported at the annual conference of the American Association of Advancement of Science on the success in using blue light to treat a wide variety of psychological problems, including addictions, eating disorders, impotence, and depression. As we have entered the new millennium, color healing or therapy is beginning to play a role in mainstream medicine, reapproaching a happy unity between intellect and intuition. My experience with color stems from my work as an aromatherapist and student of yoga. In 1985, I had the opportunity to study the science of life in India, working with diet, breath, postures, and purification of the mind as a path towards self-knowledge, the key to all higher knowledge. Central to these studies in the presence of the universal, all-pervading light or life force. This force is manifest in all forms of life, mineral, plant, animal, or human, as the aura. While it can be perceived through the subtle, intuitive senses, its existence has been proven by technology such as the Kirlian photography. And I did a video on Kirlian photography on this channel, and you can check that out too. It's very fascinating. I even showed you one of my Kirlian photographs that I received from getting it photographed by a Curlian photographer. It was really awesome. So check out that video on this channel. It's on here. In this method, named after its Russian inventor, Dr. S. Curlian, one's hands and feet are placed on a plate connected to a high-frequency generator and briefly exposed to high-frequency rays, generating a photograph of the colorful energy field surrounding the physical body. Similarly, an oral spectrometer reads energetic information and transmits it to a computer, which then produces a photo of the aura, usually the head and neck. The subtle colors of the aura, as well as all colors visible to our physical senses, are in fact partial frequencies of one great light emanating from original source, which gets broken up and filtered as it enters the denser dimensions of manifestation. This is beautifully visible in the physical when a ray of white light passing through a prism breaks up into colors of the rainbow spectrum: magenta, violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red, and their various shades. I showed that when I demonstrated that when the sun was coming through the window in here in this room, how the orbs on this this wizard, you could see it like a prism. The colors were coming out, bouncing off of it with the sun hitting it, and it was really beautiful. So yeah, and I talked about that when I did the Curlian photography video on this channel, where I mentioned that as well. So yeah, that's a pretty good article. So here's something about color and aroma. I think I'll add that to it. This has a wide variety of topics relating to color therapy. So let's check this out. So color and aromatherapy. So here's the definition of aromatherapy. Aromatherapy is the art and science of application of essential oils from plants, herbs, flowers, gums, resins, and fruits to improve and maintain well-being of body, emotion, mind, and spirit. Here's the history of aromatherapy. The use of plants and their oils has been around in one form or another for about 4,000 years. The Chinese are generally credited with using them first, before the practice moved steadily westwards via India and Middle East. Medicinal plants and aromatics were a fact of daily life for the Egyptians, who used them in religious ceremonies as medicine, for embalming, and as perfume. Greek physicians brought back increased knowledge of essential oils from Egypt to Europe, and aromatic oils are mentioned in both Greek mythology and the Bible. The Romans first brought them to Britain, chiefly for perfuming, but it was the Knights of the Crusades during the 11th century who brought back aromatic essences for general purposes. During the Middle Ages, they were used to combat diseases like cholera and as protection against the plague, mainly by burning them or wearing them in amulets around the neck. Since nearly all essential oils have excellent antiseptic and antibacterial properties, this wasn't quite as futile as it might sound today. By 1700 AD, essential oils were widely used in medicines, and this situation lasted until the science of chemistry allowed the synthesis of material in the laboratory. There is little sympathy from the scientists of the vital life force point of view held by aromatherapists, and generally it was thought better to isolate the active therapeutic principles from plants and use them alone, or manufacture them synthetically, thereby having them cheap and in quantity. But early this century, a French chemist named Getafe accidentally rediscovered their healing properties and first coined the term aromatherapy, when after burning his hand during an experiment, he plunged it into the nearest cold liquid, essential oil of lavender. The burn healed quickly and perfectly, and his subsequent book on the subject was the basis for using essential oils to treat injuries during the First World War. Much of the work during the war was carried out by French physician Dr. Jean Valnet, though the practice at the time didn't involve massage. Valnet's belief in the superiority of natural oils was shared by Marguerite Maury, an Austrian biochemist who is generally credited with pioneering the modern approach to aromatherapy. She developed a style of treatment which relied as much on the ancient Oriental art of massage as on properties of the oils themselves. So now they break down the the herbs and the colors associated with the herbs. So here's aromatherapy in color. So aniseed would be red, orange, and black. Basil is yellow. Bergamot is orange, yellow, green, and gold, and red. Black pepper, red and black. So what does all that mean? Ruby, grapefruit, red. Rosewood, red, orange, and pink. Rosemary, blue and red. So I wonder if when you smell these smell these aromas of these herbs, it's supposed to be associated with a certain color. So if you were to be smelling aniseed, would you imagine red, orange, or black? This doesn't really get into that really per se. Seems. But it's a cool little website that just has basic stuff on here. If you really want to get more into it, you can find specific books. Like they were mentioning Louise Hay, her one book. I do have it. Let me see if it's on my bookshelf. Let's go on over to my bookshelf and see if I have it. Over here. I don't think it's in here actually. It may not be in here. Yeah, maybe in my other room. But yeah, people do find using specific colors to be healing, and in certain sense can remind you of certain colors. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. Thanks for subscribing to my channel. Thanks for the likes and shares. And thank you for your kind comments. Leave your comments down below and let me know how you heal with color. And if you'd like to support this channel, you can donate $1 or more to my PayPal at kdaddytmama@comcast.net. And along with the question, along with your donation, you can include a question you'd like to see answered on an upcoming show. It's not required to donate to this channel or any of my other channels. It's just people are asking, how can I support your channels? And this is one of the ways you can do it. So thank you for joining me, everyone. Brightest blessings to you all, and I'll see you soon.